Hi, I'm Bob Weir with another interview of People in the News in North Texas. My guest today is Anjelita Cadena, Chair of the Denton County Democrat Party. Thank you for being here, Dr. Cadena.
Thank you for inviting me, Bob.
If you would begin, please, by telling our viewers something about your background, your education, occupation, etc.
I am currently a professor of finance and real estate at the University of North Texas. I got my PhD late in life. I was, let's just say, over 50. And I came to education the long way, but I've also been in politics along the way. Started advocating and standing up for myself in South Texas. Goodness, I can't even remember when, back in the 70s. And jumped in with the great boycott at the very end because I hadn't even heard about it. So I'm a big proponent of people listening to what's going on so they don't miss something.
Right. An informed voter is an excellent voter. Where is the Denton Democrat Party located?
We used to have the office in Denton, but when I was elected a year ago, I moved it to Louisville. And Louisville being the center, not geographically, but by the number of people. Mm-hmm. So we are at 522 South Edmonds in Louisville.
And I believe I have that in the written portion already, so they can read that in there. How often do you have meetings?
It depends on what kind of meeting you want to attend. For our precinct chairs and our leadership, we call it the County Executive Committee. That meets once a month right now, and our next one will be, I don't remember the date, but you can go to our website and find it. But we meet once a month. We are trying to change that to quarterly on non-election years because I hate to pull people out of their jobs and their families for meetings where there's nothing for them to actually vote on.
Yeah.
So.
And I guess it's kind of in a way, it's a seasonal thing because during the summer there's not a lot of activity, but everybody's preparing for the fall when everything starts to really pick up and run towards primary season and all of that. Tell us, what are some of the guiding principles of the Democrat Party, Denton County?
I like to summarize it with the phrase that I've seen everywhere, and I have a button I forgot to wear today. It says, y'all means all. And we need to be there for everybody. And I think if you look at our platform, whether it's the state, the national, or our local one here, it just states that we are going to help as many people as possible, and we want everybody to be respected.
Right. So those would be the goals of the party.
Yes.
And you will be fielding candidates for elective offices next year.
We started our list late last year. When people ask me, I want to run for office, when should I start? I said, now. Because they have to start collecting funds. You see, these debates are being ranked according to how many donors they get and how much money they get, whether or not they get on the table. That money, I know people hate that, but that's what gets some of our candidates elected. They'll have that opportunity. So some of them have been campaigning since January. So we do have quite a few. We have actually have an incumbent this year, so that's super. But we have, if you've seen the CD24 race, it's a handful of people. I have yet to fill the whole slate, so we're still looking for other people to run.
Yeah, and of course it is true that, do you believe in starting early? I do, because I think you need, especially if you're not well known already, you need that name recognition, face recognition, you need to be out there. So a lot of people say, I don't really want to do any announcing until September, October. Well, that's fine if everybody already knows you, and maybe you're appearing in newspapers more often anyway. But I tell people the sooner you get in, the better for you, because the more name recognition you'll get.
That's right.
And don't forget, you sometimes will scare off other candidates who might think of running, and they say, "Oh, I was going to do that, but they're running."
There is somebody
already.
running.
Yeah.
We do get some people that run because we want to. Of course, we want a primary. But we also want to contest all the races. We get more people out to vote if they've got someone to vote for. A lot of the Democrats here say, well, why would I even go to the primary? Right? Because there's no one on the ballot. Before, we had one here, one there, maybe 2, 3 candidates at a time.
Yeah.
Last year, we had the best primary we've had in a long time, but we had somebody in every slate that didn't need a law degree. We're still working on judges. If any lawyer out there wants to run for judge, please call me. Mm-hmm. But it is good for them to get started early, especially if they've never been a candidate, which is where most people are right now. We don't have seasoned candidates yet.
Right.
And if you're not a seasoned candidate, I would prefer that you make your mistakes and learn how to speak in public and get over all the faux pas before it actually gets going in September, November
And
of this year.
Yeah, and be prepared when the time comes for a lot of attention and maybe debating opponents, make sure you have all your ducks in a row so that you have the information that you need also. And I suppose there will be debates between the Democrats and Republicans, right?
We didn't get too many last year. We had, but I think that we will be getting more now that they're used to us having more candidates.
Yeah.
We had some forums, not necessarily debates, but it kind of came off that way in a little bit. There was one in North Denton County that included everybody, the Democrats and the Republicans, but mostly we're holding right now for the primary forums between the candidates that are running in the same race.
Yeah.
So that's interesting too.
And the Democrats in Denton County have a couple of offices that they're holding right now, elective offices?
You mean candidates running for office?
Yeah.
Yes, we've got, let's see.
No, I mean, those are already in office. You have,
Oh, we only have two in office
Two
right
in
now.
office,
We
right,
have two
yeah.
Democrats, whereas this time last year, we didn't have any.
so,
And now we've got Michelle Beckley in House District 65. She's gone to Austin to battle for a few things for us and done a great job. And we've got Chris Lopez as JP in Precinct 6. And we've not had somebody on the county government that's a Democrat in a long time.
yeah. And that's good. I mean, you gotta have a two-party system, and it's gotta be vibrant,
Gotta be
You gotta
represented.
yeah.
We recently went to battle over redistricting. They were planning to redistrict Denton County
Right,
a few earlier. And we went out there, and of course, they're all Republicans on the stand. They say this is not a partisan issue, everybody's represented, but can you really say that when they're all Republicans on the stand?
yeah,
And they have a former Republican county chair on there.
and they were threatened with lawsuits also, if they did that, because that may hold up the whole process. So they stopped it, right? There isn't gonna be.
There's not gonna be a redistricting this
Redistricting.
year, they will do
Right.
one after the census.
After the session, yeah. All right, so how many precinct chairs do you have?
Good question. I was trying to think of how many we had. I know it's in the 90s,
Yeah.
and we're about halfway where we need to be. We're never going to have complete coverage in all the precincts, and studies have shown that a precinct with a precinct chair gets the people out to vote, and they get their candidates elected.
Right.
So we're trying very hard to fill that up. It doesn't take anything but being 18 years old and a U.S. citizen to be a precinct chair.
Sure. What are the duties of a county chair like yourself?
Oh my goodness.
And I know they're numerous, but just a couple of them.
I like to tell people that I'd take the beating so they can keep working. Basically, I've instituted a structure that we didn't have before, and it's actually written out and for everybody to see, and it's on our webpage. We need to have that structure so things can get done. Fundraising is separate from taking care of our accounts. We need to have a system of how the office is run. What happens when a check comes in from a donor? We want to make sure that it gets put away in a timely fashion, and then it's not just one person handling funds. A big problem with people is they don't want to donate to the party because they don't know what's happened to the funds. And now we can show them how it's
Very
not just
important.
coming to me.
That's
So
right,
I need them to trust us so we can be run like a business in the office. You don't want politics run like a business, but in the office it should be. The rest of it is more about the politician and the issues.
Can you tell the viewers about the large salary that you get for this position, this work that you do?
The salary comes in I can't even think of a joke to go with that.
Oh, I know, it's a joke to say it because there's no
Oh,
salary
my
that comes
goodness.
with it, okay.
Salary comes really in the friends I make and the people I
That's
meet.
right, yeah.
And that's it.
That's the reward you get.
That's the reward I get.
Of course. Do you have any fundraisers coming up you want to mention?
We just went through a big one and we're starting a few more. I know we have a training coming up in August. If we have fundraisers, we've been through several. This happens to be a quiet time right now because everybody's on vacation.
Sure, yeah.
But if you go to our website, they're all listed there.
And let me
And you
mention
can get
that.
on our mailing list and we'll send them to you.
Yeah, and it's on the written portion also, but the website is www.dentondemocrats.org.
Yes.
Now, in the interest of time, because I see I'm getting the high sign, I just want to mention that some of the clubs are in your organization are the College Democrats, Democrat Women of Denton County Coalition of Black Democrats, and you can find more on that website.
Yes, Young Democrats, Louisville Democrats, Argyle Democrats, Southwest. There's a local group to you. There's even a Flower Mound Democrats.
Yeah,
So there's local group to you, and please go see them. They really could use your support.
Yes. There are plenty of Democrats around, and I'm hoping to get this information out to them. Okay, so I'm being told that the time has come, so I want to thank you very much, Angie, for being here
Thank you,
and
Bob.
for giving voters a choice. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, and thank you for watching.